There's been a palpable sense of angst, apprehension on the plains of Auburn this week as Les Miles and LSU get off the bus and roll into Auburn with their own special brand of ordnance. Shock and awe. Number 7, Leonard Fournette out of the 7th Ward of New Orleans with his own brand of fury. Let's take a look at the standings in the Western Conference, the Western Division in the SEC. LSU at 1-0, Auburn 1 down in the loss column. Ready to go, man?
Always. Let's do this.
Mark Jones alongside Rod Gilmore. Thanks for coming aboard. This is the 51st meeting between these two schools. Quint Kesnick down on the sidelines. He'll be joining us in just a bit. Rod, Gus Malzahn, the coach of Auburn, has been telling everybody willing to listen. His team is ready, finally, to turn it around. Les Miles is trying to stay one step ahead of the posse, too. Both these teams with a lot at stake today.
Yeah, but no one's been trying to hear that. All week, the drama off the field has been overshadowing the importance of this game, and that's because folks have been talking about the job situation for Les Miles. Will he be out at the end of the year? And Gus Malzahn, if the offense doesn't get right, will he be gone? The fact of the matter is, this is a critical game. If LSU wins, they're still in the hunt in the Western Division. If Auburn wins, they still have a chance to be bowl eligible down the line, and they're still alive. But if either the loser of this game, they're in trouble. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, that'll get the critics coming out of the cracks. Meanwhile, let's go downstairs to Quint for more on number 7.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette in this game last year rushed for 228 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 133 yards after contact. It was a demolition of Auburn. Brute strength, power, speed, punishing with a nasty edge. He was a man on a mission. It's a low point for Auburn's defense, and they look for redemption tonight. But tackling Fournette, easier said than done. Requires terrific technique, a lot of toughness, and if there's hesitation, Jonesy, you get trucked.
And this guy is inexorable. Brilliant sky here in Auburn, Alabama. A sellout crowd of close to 87,000 on hand at Jordan-Hare Stadium. LSU won the toss, deferring to the second half. Auburn will receive. There's a look at Danny Etling, the starting quarterback now for LSU. Both these teams suffering from a little bit of an identity crisis. Etling, the starting quarterback for LSU, he took over a game and a half ago from Brandon Harris, and he'll be making just his second start here today, his first in SEC play on the road.
Yeah, but keep in mind that at Purdue, he did play at big places like Notre Dame. A little different in the SEC, but he'll get his shot. And Sean White is clearly the starter tonight. We're told that he will go the distance, except for Franklin getting a series here and there, but there will not be a rotating quarterback situation for Auburn, we're told.
Ford. Jonathan Ford got to the edge and is pushed out of bounds right around the 25-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Sean White. White completing 63% of his passes on the season. He's been the starter for all 3 games, has 3 touchdown passes against just 1 interception so far, a total of 510 yards passing. Guy that has always had to fight and scrap for everything.
And for folks used to seeing a dynamic quarterback like Cam Newton, Nick Marshall, that's not what he is in this offense. So the fit isn't what we've seen before with Gus Malzahn, but he can still make explosive plays. And that's the challenge for this offense, is to find a way to get White to make some big plays.
1st down and 10 from the 25. Empty formation, 5 receivers. And now Johnson sets. Takes the handoff on 1st down, and a nice gain out to the 30, picks up 5. Where Kendall Beckwith makes the stop for LSU. Johnson, a 6-foot sophomore from Madison, Alabama.
Talk about what Sean White did last week. 18 of 27, no completions over 20 yards.
Sat out the 4th quarter. Finds Johnson on the little swing pass. Johnson pushed out of bounds right near that 1st down marker by Beckwith again. Let's see where they spot this one. Looks like we've got a 3rd and short potentially coming up here. But Sean White says that he's ready for this game. On 3rd and 1. Incomplete, in and out of the hands of Tony Stevens, who had a great game last week.
Did you see him look?
Yep.
As soon as he got his hands on the ball, he took a peek upfield. He knew he was in the middle and that a hit was coming. Watch him take that look. See? And he loses the ball.
Boy, Stevens is a guy that they need to play big today. I mentioned he had 8 receptions last week in that loss here against Texas A&M. Kevin Phillips in to punt from his own 21-yard line.
Gonna get hit anyway. You can't peek. Might as well catch the ball.
High spiral by Phillips. All the way back at the 20-yard line, it's Tre'Davious White with a fair catch on the 46-yard punt. It'll be 1st and 10 for Danny Etling, making his first road start in conference play. He's a Purdue transfer from Terre Haute, Indiana. Has a lot in common with his offensive coordinator, Les Miles, who's also an Indiana native.
That was how he found LSU, and LSU found him. Cam Cameron was very familiar with him, knew what he did in high school. He gave Cam a call and said, I want to come to LSU, and they made it work.
1st and 10 from the 20 for LSU. Fournette doing Fournette things, gaining about 7 on the play, which is right around his average.
Look, there is no question that this offense is based on Leonard Fournette. But clearly, LSU believes that in order for them to win this year, and by win, we mean win the West, win the SEC, it's about the quarterback position and what they get out of Etling.
2nd and 13, Chark in motion. Etling on his first pass wisely throws it away. Fournette was in the area.
And Jonesy, back to the offense with Etling now. You know, Brandon Harris was a starter last year, beginning of this year, and Etling replaced him after the Wisconsin game, the 2nd game. They're looking for more efficiency in the pass offense and to spread the ball around, and Etling sort of gives them that. At least they believe that's what he gives them, and they're going to see that through for a while. Played well so far, struggled in the 2nd half last week against Mississippi State, but we'll see what happens in this ball game, especially with a 3rd and 13. That's tough going here.
Gonna get a test on this one. A trips left formation. They give it to Fournette, which is always a good decision, but he's stopped up at the 24-yard line by Deshaun Davis. A 7-yard gain. Davis, a guy that has really started to come into his own for Auburn defensively, and Fournette and LSU coming off the field. Les Miles telling us that Fournette has been as healthy this week as he's been all season, as Josh Groden comes in. Marcus Davis back there on his own 35-yard line for Auburn. The Australian angles it towards the sideline, and it's out of bounds at about the 40, so Auburn will have good starting field position when Sean White gets back on the field after the 36-yard punt. On 1st and 10, White completes this one to Ryan Davis on the edge. Gain of about 3. Jackson making the stop on the play. Take a look at tonight's impact players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Well, all begins with LSU with Fournette. You know he embarrassed his team last year. Key's already made an impact with the sack. Headway has brought some powerful running inside for Auburn, and Carl Lawson has stabilized that defense and made it much better than it was last season.
On the fringes of field goal range. White threads the needle, and it's going to be complete to Stevens, who dropped one earlier. This time squeezes it for the 1st down. A pickup of 10.
Move the quarterback away from the pocket. Get him away from Key and the pressure that he's seen earlier. Make the field of vision easy. He comes back to Stevens.
White hands it off to Kerryon Johnson. Rod, tell me about all the window dressing that we see with this Auburn offense. What's it all mean in the big picture?
A lot of it is designed to move the defense and make you think. The other part of it is to get a guy or two in position for better blocking, to have a better angle on someone they need to get to. But a lot of it is just confusion.
Pruitt sets in the backfield. Takes the handoff. A little bit of sleight of hand, but no gain on the play. Duke Riley there to make the stop for the loss. A loss of 2.
Did you say loss?
Yes, negative play.
Another word for loss, negative play. Yeah.
Number 1 in the country amongst FBS schools. Power 5 conferences, 3rd and 9. White with time. Incomplete. Broken up at the 25 by Dante Jackson. Already has an interception on the year intended for Ryan Davis.
Yeah, the matchup in the secondary is not good for Auburn. The corners for LSU, White and Tolliver. And then when you bring in Jackson as the nickel, they can't win those battles. The place to try and work is against the safeties. Stay away from those corners and nickel.
This is Daniel Carlson, perfect on the year. 6 of 6. This one coming from 51 yards out. Malzahn extremely confident in his place kicker. And that's why. Auburn on the board. Carlson perfect on the year. Now 7 of 8 from 50 yards plus career-wise.
Little defense, special teams, different kind of Auburn, but they're up. We'll have to ask Todd and Tess about that.
Yeah, that AT&T one is pretty impressive as well. Let's go back to the end of the end zone. Let's see what LSU can get done here offensively with about 6.5 to go in the first quarter. So far, Fournette.
They've not established Fournette yet.
There's 9 yards on 3 carries. But he can change it up in a hurry. Chark in motion to the top of your screen. Cross into the boundary, Fournette. Squares those shoulders. Told you he could change things up in a hurry, folks. A great block by Chark on the edge and a first down.
Well, he also gets a great lead from Moore, 44, his fullback, and he likes running behind him. And that toss to the short side, he runs that well. He gets 11 here. You'll see him step out of bounds, but that's the way you establish him. Give him the play he likes. He likes the fullback in front. He likes running to the short side.
Yeah, J.J. Moore, number 44, is a big part of what they do in their scheme. There he is in motion, number 44. Fournette out of the backfield. Makes 1 tackle in this and pushed out of bounds and close to a late hit. Carlton Davis hit Fournette right at the boundary, a 2-yard gain.
How much do you think these Auburn defenders talked about last year?
A lot.
And being embarrassed and trying to tackle this guy today. Now, there's a rule that Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator at Auburn, gave these guys. He was at LSU last year. He said, if Fournette is looking at you, do not hit him high. He's coming with his shoulders and he's got power. If he's looking at you, you better go low.
Something to think about. Darius Geis now in the tailback, number 5. On 2nd and 8. Geis on the handoff. Got a seam and has some room. Geis brought down right around the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for LSU. Matthews making a touchdown-saving tackle. A 52-yard gain.
Yeah, just a nice job on a little split zone. You'll see the blocking that way. That opens it up. And Geis is the change of pace runner with great speed. And but for that tackle, he's in the end zone.
They mark it right at the 10-yard line. Geis, a 5'11" sophomore out of Baton Rouge. Fournette back in the ball game. Moore, the fullback, lined up in the eye. Fournette broke another tackle. Broke a second one, is brought down just inside the 5. You can count the multitude of broken tackles each time he touches it.
Well, you really have to be engaged with what you need to do to tackle him. If those shoulders are pointed toward the sideline, you can hit him high. But when he's looking at you, get low and don't get the thighs. You have to get a little lower than that because he's got the power to run through you.
Yeah, he put all those guys from Auburn on his personal Heisman highlight reel last year. Etling to pass. Got it to his tight end and stopped short of the end zone. Foster Morrow did not get in.
how about the play by Edling, processing what's going on and finding Morrow and getting him the ball? That looks like that's breaking the plane.
I thought he was
That's at the plane.
They're going to look at this.
Of course, that's a scoring play they will look at. But Edling keeping his wits about himself and processing the
ruling is that the ball carrier broke the plane of the goal line prior to the knee being down, and it's a touchdown.
Foster Morrow with the touchdown, and LSU leads it 6-3 with the extra point to come.
Give credit to Edling. He kept his wits, and he recognized and processed the info that he had Morrow, who was a better candidate for getting into the end zone, and he just got the ball out to him. He found a way to get the ball to him.
Well, Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator for the Auburn Tigers, was at LSU last year. He got to know and work against Edling, who ran the scout team last year for LSU, the extra point good. And he's not surprised by Edling's ability to improvise. But it was Geis's long run that set that touchdown play up. 52 yards right there. And LSU looking for a little payback from that 41-7 loss right here on the plains of Auburn a couple of years ago. Back after this. I'm Mark Jones chopping it up alongside Rod Gilmore and Kesnick down on the field. This is the 51st edition of LSU against Auburn. So much at stake for different reasons for both these teams. LSU coming off a win against Mississippi State. Auburn losing at home here against Texas A&M. Auburn has to make things happen here. They start the season with 5 consecutive home games. Leon Johnson on the return. 3rd down and 5. Stevens in motion. White completes it. And a first down out to the 35 to Marcus Davis as we go down to Quint.
Mark, Kevin Tolliver, cornerback for LSU, came out and warmed up. He has not been in the game yet. I don't think he's going to play today. So that leaves him one corner short. You got Dante Jackson and Tre'Davious White, 18 and 1 shutdown guys. Auburn picking on the other side.
See if they can take good advantage of that because Johnson picks up a couple yards.
I don't know about that. Ed Paris, 21, is the corner who comes in to play the nickel, and they shift guys around. And he's a guy who's played a lot over the last couple years for LSU, was a great recruit for them. So there's not a whole lot of drop-off on that back end when it comes to man coverage back there. They've got some guys. They've got some dudes back there.
Yeah, they've got a history of some pretty good DBs at LSU. White keeps it himself. And wrapped up at about the 41-yard line by Ed Paris, the guy you were talking about a moment ago, gain of 5.
Close your eyes and imagine Cam Newton or Nick Marshall running that play. That's the difference. It's
a different
not,
result.
You've got a quarterback one-on-one with someone who can give you that explosive play, and that's not that's not his strong suit. He will give you an explosive play, but it's going to come in the passing game if he can get the matchup. But LSU will let him run all day.
Auburn now 2 of 5 on 3rd downs, looking at 3rd and 4 here. Johnson splits wide to the bottom of your screen. White going to pass in the seam, complete. And a first down to Stevens, who seems to be developing as his go-to guy, his comfort zone.
Good call. They've got matched up with the safety. This time they work on Jefferson, and it works. They get Stevens behind him, but again, you see the pattern. They are looking inside and trying to work the LSU safeties. Malzahn is all over that with his offensive coordinator, Brett Lashley.
Already in field goal range, the handoff to Petway. Petway picks up about 3, stopped by Duke Riley. End of the quarter winding down with 13 seconds to go. Auburn down by 4.
Now the adjustment for LSU in the back end is how long they stay with man coverage, or do they go to some zone to protect their safeties? I don't think they'll change anytime soon.
Well, Gus Malzahn has been telling everyone willing to listen all week long, we're close. We're going to coach them up and turn it around. Second quarter coming up on the other side of this. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton. Jordan-Hare Stadium, selling crowd of 87,000 on hand. It'll be 2nd down and 7 for Auburn. Already in field goal range.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
You look out there and you're at the 35, you go 52 yards. I got a field goal in my back pocket.
Gus Malzahn says he's comfortable out to 60 yards with Carlson. That's pretty comfortable. 2nd and 7. A good toss. Petway, who has a couple of consecutive 100-yard-plus rushing games in his pocket. With a nice gain that time.
240-pound back can bring a little bit of power himself.
Gain of 7. 1st and 10. Gets it again. A gaping hole up the middle. And dropped down right around the 20-yard line. A nice gain again. Got a key block from Kozan to gain 8.
Well, they got into the linebackers. They got into both Beckwith and Riley.
Petway again. They gash that defense up front. Another 1st down for Auburn, moving the ball in nice rhythm right now.
Well, they're getting to the linebackers, and when you can cut off the linebackers with your guards, you got to get something.
Petway again. Move that pile to gain about 4. What's the adjustment here? If you're looking at LSU, what's the counter move now?
Well, I think you're going to see these linebackers be a little bit more aggressive and try and avoid those blocks or to get off them a little bit faster. But right now, they're sort of sitting there and getting knocked back.
12th play of the Auburn drive here. They are milking Petway. Gets up about 2 on that one. Just underway here in the 2nd quarter. That's Arden Key, who leads the SEC in sacks amongst leaders nationally as well.
Notice you don't see a lot of the quarterback zone read, quarterback in the run game. You're seeing more power football from Auburn. They have changed dramatically offensively. Be more physical, be a defense and special teams oriented team.
2nd and goal. On to jet sweep. Johnson. Brought down just inside the 5. So it'll be 3rd down and goal. Gain of 3 on the play. Auburn team looking like the old Auburn teams, going quick, going fast with tempo.
They have not been good in the red zone this season. Auburn has struggled down here. And they've struggled today, and they've not been good on 3rd down. So who's the playmaker? Who's the guy that can give you the play? Is he a receiver?
Hastings in motion. White under heat and sack back to the 13. And the sack changes things a little bit. The big play by Godchuk.
You must know where 49 is. If you don't block him, he will run you down. If he's on the side and you put no one there to block him, or you have a back, he will beat the back.
Boy, Arden Key makes my all hotel lobby team. 6'6", 240, sculpted.
He's doing today what Myles Garrett of A&M did to Auburn last week.
29 yards out. Carlson is perfect on the season, 7 of 7. And that's his 2nd field goal of the day, but the LSU Tigers with a little bit of a win that time, keeping them out of the end zone. Gus Malzahn, you saw the look on his face going to break. The field goal isn't what he wanted, and it was the key 3rd down sack, Rob.
Well, the sack and great coverage in the secondary. Here's Hastings at the bottom. He's going to run across the formation. White's going to bump out and get him. That's a mismatch. Tre'Davious White's going to win this all day long. Watch him eat up Hastings, and that's exactly where Sean White's looking. Can't find anything, and that split second is all you need for Key to come across and make a sack.
Guys going to take a knee after eviscerating this defense last year, and he's going back to work. Leonard Fournette, and the turbo kicked in right around midfield, and he takes it down to the 38. If you're wondering whether he was healthy, folks, there's Exhibit A, 35 yards.
Yeah, off to the right side, Josh Booty, 76, with a great block to get him to the edge, and then you see the acceleration. The speed you don't expect for a guy that's 235 pounds, which has led people to compare him to Bo Jackson. Bo, a little bigger.
Hey, careful how you say it around here.
I'm saying,
especially here.
I'm not the guy. I'm not the guy. I mean, there's only been one Bo in my lifetime.
From the 24, 1st and 10 for LSU. Always a good call to hand it off to Fournette. Broke a tackle and moves the pile to the 20-yard line to make some lemonade out of lemons. Edling still on the sidelines. Let's go downstairs to Quinn.
Yeah, I'm right next to Danny Etling right now, and here he comes. Training staff worked on a cut above his nose and then a cut to the mouth, and you called it correctly, Mark. It was that second hit, helmet to face. The no concussion protocol, no symptoms whatsoever. He threw for a moment, and number 16's back in the ballgame.
Hey, Q, they figured that out awfully quickly for no concussion symptoms.
2nd and 6. Chark in motion. Etling. Chark catches it and brought down immediately at the 24-yard line by Jonathan Ford. A loss of 4 on the play. One more time, a look at that hit after he got rid of it.
How about the way this Auburn defense has responded? One of their brothers gets kicked out of the ball game. They didn't hang their heads. They've responded with enthusiasm and rallied to the football.
3rd and 10. Fournette to the right of Etling. Sacked. Carl Lawson with the sack. And a loss of 10.
Jonesy, we talked about Lawson being an impact player. They didn't have him last year. Was only around for a few ball games, and the defense suffered. He comes back this year. He's a relentless pass rusher. Great coverage down the field, and that ball is held by Etling a wee bit too long.
That's his 2nd sack of the season. 4th and 20, and now a long field goal attempt. Bobby Delahusa.
What a job by that Auburn defense.
This would be a career long of 51. And a huge win already for the Auburn defense. And an exclamation point on that win. Wide. An incredible response to the ejection of Trey Williams several plays ago. Some stout defense for Auburn. And they hold on to the lead. Pardon me, they trail still by 1 when we come back. Danny Etling on the sidelines, still trying to clear out those cobwebs. LSU leading still by 1 after that missed field goal a moment ago as we went to break. Right now they're just working on the cuts that Etling suffered. 1st and 10 for Sean White in Auburn. Petway, who did a great job on the last series, fumbles. The ball squirts loose, and Marcus Davis recovers it. Picked up about 6 on the play. Petway was a key cog offensively for Auburn on that last drive, which ended in that field goal. But once again, problems in the red zone for the Auburn Tigers.
Again, Jonesy, the matchup is against the safeties if they're looking to throw here.
White. Complete. Great catch by Slayton. And Slayton collared at the 20. And a 1st down for Auburn. Jamal Adams with the high tackle.
And Jonesy, that's the first big play for the Auburn offense. You see a high tackle, but it doesn't go as a horse collar. Didn't pull him back. But the good news for Auburn offensively, they finally came up with a play, a chunk play that White was involved in.
One of the rare explosive plays offensively. Petway keeps it again. And we talked about how they've had very few runs over 12 yards or passes over 16, a.k.a. explosive plays this year.
Well, Auburn says they want 9 explosive plays a game. That's what they need to be effective. And this is their first one, their first play where they got over the 16 yards passing, over 12 yards rushing. Second one.
2nd and 7. Right out of the shotgun. Boca Raton, Florida, went to university school where he ran a similar offensive system to the one here at Auburn. Completes it to Marcus Davis. Brought down by Jamal Adams. It's a 4 on the play. 3rd down coming up for Auburn. And they've stalled a lot this year in the red zone. Here they are again, a pivotal 3rd down.
Well, remember, they've had drives blown up by Arden Key, number 49. So if you're throwing down here, pass protection is paramount. You have to make sure you know where he is, and you do not put a running back on him. He will win that matchup.
Arden Key leads the league in sacks. White has time. Into the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Tony Stevens, who was working against Tre'Davious White, their top cover corner. And it's 4th down. And once again, it's field goal time in the red zone for Auburn.
You can't keep getting inside the red zone and coming away with field goals. That's why touchdown percentage is so critical. You have to get touchdowns and not field goals. That's often the difference between winning and losing.
And once again, Daniel Carlson, who's perfect on the year. 8 of 8 on the season, already connecting from 51 and 29. This from 29, and just inside that upright. A perfect 3 for 3. Auburn with a 2-point lead. Look at the furrowed brow of both coaches, the Mad Hatter and Gus Malzahn. Auburn leading. Let's head to the studio for the Buick halftime report. Guys, take it away. Jordan-Hare Stadium, the home team looking for its 2nd win of the season, and this is the 51st chapter of Auburn LSU. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones alongside Rod Gilmore. Quint Kesnick down on the field. He'll be joining us in just a bit. Rod, one of the big storylines coming into the ball game. Leonard Fournette, the star tailback for LSU, ran for over 220 yards last year against this Auburn defense. Been a different story somewhat here in the first half.
Payback?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's payback.
About that much so far.
Yeah. He just embarrassed them last season. And this Auburn defense has just been all over him in the first half. 64 yards rushing. He had one big run for 35 yards. So most of those yards came in that one rush. Otherwise, the Auburn defense has held Fournette in check. The challenge for LSU in the second half is to find a way to get him loose.
LSU is going to have the ball to start the 3rd quarter here. Auburn has not won a conference game at home since 2014, folks. A special kind of drought here on the plains at Auburn University. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Auburn at quarterback here in the second half.
We have not seen John Franklin.
Yep. Last week, remember, against Texas A&M, Gus Malzahn put Franklin in to, quote-unquote, give his team a spark offensively. This will come out to the 25-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Quint, who spoke with Les Miles a moment ago.
Yeah, I asked him what the critical offensive adjustment would be in the second half, and he said more intermediate and deep throws. Keep in mind right now, LSU's only thrown for 23 yards in this game on 6 completions. That's 3.8 yards per reception. He thinks they can continue to pound Fournette and generate some play action, but intermediate and more deep throws, they'll take some shots in the second half.
Well, Q, they have to protect Etling to do that. He got knocked around in the first half, so in my view, it starts with protection if they want to throw the ball down the field.
They've had some offensive line issues with injuries. 1st and 10, great point. Here's Fournette. Will certainly play at the next level, and they know what he can do. But back to what you started on, Rod. Odell Beckham wasn't the guy that really put up outlandish stats here at LSU, and you see how he's blowing up in the NFL.
Well, and that's been part of the criticism of the LSU offense over the years, is that they've got so many talented receivers, but it is really kind of a one-man show, and that they want more diversification, and that's sort of some of the pressure on Les Miles.
2nd and 7. There's a look at Dupree. Full receiver formation for Etling. Throws it low and incomplete at the 46-yard line. Intended for his tight end. Pardon me, that was intended for Dupree, actually. Williams there to break it up. Interesting when you look at Etling and the numbers that he's put up so far in the early part of the season. He's done much better in the first half than he does in the second half, which is somewhat worrisome, you would think, for LSU.
Yeah, good point. His accuracy waned in the second half of that game last week. Only 2 for 6 on third down for LSU.
Under heat and a flag down. Etling out of the pocket and throws it out of bounds. Won't be grounding, but there's a flag back at the 34. Some good heat by Carl Lawson on the quarterback.
Yeah.
Holding, offense number 76. Penalty is declined. Automatic, fourth down.
Well, it wasn't a great series for LSU after that initial first down.
No, again, you know, not great protection and thinking about ways to get Dupree involved. Etling was certainly looking for him that time.
This game tonight, just one half of the action in the SEC West, and a couple of pivotal games. After this one, you'll see Arkansas against Texas A&M from Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium. Fair catch called all the way back at the 14-yard line by Marcus Davis. 44-yard punt, nothing on the return. It's Sean White time when we return. Taking a shot and caught at the 42-yard line. Great catch by Stevens, and there another rare explosive play by Auburn.
And this is what the offense needs out of White. Chances to complete passes, give them the big explosive play, because they really can't get a lot of it running it.
24-yard gain. Johnson down to the 35. And already well within field goal range for the Auburn Tigers. Duke Riley making the stop on the play.
It was good to see White make that decision on that last throw. He knew he had single coverage, man-to-man, and gave his receiver a chance. And that's what he has to do. When he recognizes that, that's where the big plays will come from.
On the out-and-up pattern, has a man, and missed the shot. But Tony Stevens, who was open, he had a couple of steps in behind the defender on the play, but there's a flag down. Boy, when you take a deep shot like that, you really have to take advantage of it.
You don't get behind those corners at LSU that often. When you do, you have to make them pay.
There were 2 fouls on the play, both on the defense. Holding, defense. Number 18, that penalty is declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer with targeting. Number 49 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
He is the leader in sacks in the conference, too. They need him on the field. White hands it off to Johnson. Broke one tackle, but there were 3 other guys there to meet him. Led by Ed Paris and Deshaun Bauer, a gain of 1 on the play. And once again, Auburn in the red zone. They've had a miserable time tonight being able to get into the end zone once in the red zone.
You want touchdowns. You want 70% of the time in the red zone to get touchdowns. They're at 0%.
Sean White's going to pass. Incomplete. In and out of the arms of Stevens, who had gotten in behind Dante Jackson. That appeared to be a catchable ball.
You got to make plays. We talked about in the first half. You got to have guys make plays to get scores down here. And Stevens just dropped that one. Now, protection. Arden Key is still in the ball game. Are you protecting yourself from that pass rusher?
Marcus Davis in motion to the top of your screen. White blitzed. He got it away in time. Here's Johnson. Lunging, but coming up 3 yards short of that first down marker. So it's 4th down coming up again.
There's your pass rusher again. And they were inviting him in that time because they wanted to run the screen underneath him. Not enough of a big play. And once again,
the popular refrain, in comes the field goal unit.
Yeah.
Led by Daniel Carlson.
Now, if you've got a fake up your sleeve, don't run it. You need points now.
He's connected from 51, 29, 29, and this one from 31 yards out. He's perfect on the year. 9 for 9 on the season. And he splits the uprights. 12-7. Back after this. And welcome back, everyone, under the lights at Jordan Hare, Auburn, Alabama. Auburn leading 12-7 in a low-scoring game. A pivotal one here in the SEC West. Don't forget, after this, you'll see Texas A&M taking on Arkansas. From Arlington, Texas, AT&T Stadium. Texas A&M coming off a big win right here in Auburn last week. That's Geis, 5 yards deep, ready to get this kick. Auburn looking for its first home conference win since 2014. LSU with a single touchdown so far in the ballgame. Fournette on a little counter, got to the edge, and man, he was about to kick it into 5th gear and was brought down. Nice tackle, but a 16-yard gain.
Well, they need a bit more of that, and they need to sustain drives because Auburn has run 50 plays to the 31st play there by LSU, and Fournette looks healthy. He's got that acceleration. People were worried about that ankle. Had a couple fumbles last week, lost one. Looks good, doesn't he?
Sure does. He was a 10.8, 10.7 sprinter. With a play action, Edling wide open at the 35-yard line. That's Jeter. And Jeter all the way down to the 25. A well-executed play by Cam Cameron, the offensive coordinator. 32-yard gain. Yeah,
beautiful play. Just a nice little crossing route coming all the way around by the tight end Colin Jeter, and the patience by Edling to wait for him. You know, you can tell Edling had played an awful lot at Purdue. Doesn't carry himself like a rookie out there. They move.
Here's Fournette cranking up the miles per hour. I'm not sure that he was down. He got upended, but landed on his feet. Olsey made the tackle. One more look at this. Oh, no, he's down. Yeah,
elbow down.
He tried to sell it. He sold it pretty well.
Yeah,
he sold it pretty well.
An elbow is the same as a knee.
Reminds me of who was the player for Auburn in the national championship game? Wasn't tackled.
Dwyer, yeah.
Dwyer. Went for a nice pivotal run in the championship game. 2nd and 6. Fournette, he's going to lose a few on this. Stopped by Adams. Adams intransigent at that nose guard spot. He's one of the real dynamic players up front for Auburn defensively.
Well, now the Auburn defense has a chance to get a red zone stop. And the key for them will be pressure.
3rd and 9.
They've harassed Edling tonight. They'll need to harass him here.
They got some big receivers on the outside with Dupree and Doral and Sharp.
Fournette's out there also.
Empty formation. Edling takes off and is brought down at the 12. No gain, and it's 4th down coming up. Nobody open, and he had 5 receivers, Rod.
Well played by Auburn, and that's the option that they would take. They would prefer to have Edling try and run that ball as opposed to throwing it to Dupree or to Fournette out there. So that's a win for Auburn big time.
The Auburn defense really key down here. They're one of the emerging stories. Remember, Les Miles has a propensity for trick plays on field goals. Got a lot of tools in that box. This field goal from 29 yards out by Delahousse. Nothing tricky about that. He knocks it through to make it a 2-point game. Mad Hatter keeps that hat on and takes the points. Back after this.
The charts.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. Great one coming up right after this one. That kick into the end zone. It'll come back down to the 25-yard line. And Alabama winning big today against Coach Saban's alma mater. There's the jet sweep. Well, that Stove involved. Stove with nowhere to go, no gain on the play. And keep in mind that John Franklin, the backup quarterback, got in the fourth quarter last week to give his team a spark, although they came up short. Franklin, a transfer from Florida State and East Mississippi Community College. Might get a look here at some point before we're all said and done.
I don't think we're going to see him.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I'll tell you why in a sec.
Right. Incomplete. That one never had a chance. Good coverage by Dante Jackson on Kerryon Johnson. Why do you think we don't see Franklin tonight?
I think Gus has figured out his team. He thinks his team is defense and special teams, and he thinks his offense is okay, and when they don't hurt the defense, he's all right with that. And I think he's afraid to put Franklin in a game like this. That could be a turnover situation that could cost him. I think he's content to stay with Sean White and let his defense try and win this game.
Another 5 of 12 on third down, 3rd and 10 here. Johnson in the backfield, White to pass. Swarmed, fumbled it, loose ball, and LSU recovers. Knocked out by Arden Key. Who else?
And again, if you're throwing the football, you have to know where 49 is. And one guy is not enough. This is just bad scheming. You have to know where he is. He's to the left. There he is. You can't block him with one guy. He's too fast. He's way too quick. You have to give help.
Arden Key is a matchup nightmare, right, Rod?
Look, you've seen this all week. You know this. It's in your game plan. 49, do not leave him alone or you get things like that. So that's not so much on the players. It's not on the left tackle. That's on the coaching staff. You know where 49 is. You have to make sure he doesn't hurt you.
Key, who leads the conference in sacks, forces the turnover. And the Bayou Bengals working with a short field from the 16-yard line, 1st and 10. Jeter, the tight end, set up on the left side of that offensive line. Etling tosses to Fournette. Lowers his hat. And gains about 3 on the play. Leonard Fournette is a marked man week to week. But he's as healthy as he's been since the start of the season. And Les Miles, I asked him about his tailback state of mind. He says he wants his tailback to stay light, keep his level of enthusiasm on and off the field up. Sometimes easier said than done. What'd you make of that?
I get it. I'm just not seeing enough pop out of this offense. Not enough help for Fournette still.
2nd and 7. Chark in motion. They run the ISO behind Moore, the tailback. Fournette gains about 3 on the play. Make it 4.
Moore doesn't get enough credit. I mean, he's a fullback who's a big boy who does all the dirty work. He's up to about 240, 245 pounds. He was a lot thinner last year. Quint and I were on the field before the game watching him, and boy, he's packed it on, and he is a really good lead blocker.
Former walk-on, pardon me, Rod.
Yeah. Well, this could be his time right here on a 3rd and 3.
He'll be hunting linebackers, as you like to say.
Be very quiet.
On the toss, Fournette broke the tackle, but not enough for the 1st down. Stopped up a yard short. A field goal gives them the lead. Or do you go for it?
You kick the field goal. It gives you a chance to go ahead. Your defense is playing well. And I got to tell you, being around the LSU coaches, they don't feel threatened by the Auburn offense. They don't really believe that offense can score a lot against them. So when you have a chance to take the lead, you take the lead if that's the way you feel. And I believe that's how they see it.
Kobe Delahousse in to attempt his third field goal tonight. He's 1 for 2. This one from 25 yards out. And an interesting exchange as Leonard Fournette came off the field with his head coach, Les Miles. Appeared to be a veil of frustration etched across his countenance as Fournette seemed to be gesturing that something might have been gone a little sideways. They were talking about it all week here in Auburn, at least the defenders were. LSU with a 1-point lead. This will come out to the 25-yard line. 3rd and 5. Marcus Davis in motion, now sets. White looks the other way and threads the needle complete for the first down at the 42-yard lines to Kyle Davis. A 12-yard gain. Kyle Davis, one of those guys they're looking to become a big play, dynamic playmaker. Just his 4th catch of the season. Toss into the boundary to Johnson. And Johnson picks up about 3.
You know, Jonesy, they still need to make something happen down the field. And again, they've gone away from it. The matchup inside, getting a slot receiver against Adams or Jefferson. They tried it early. They missed it. They have a chance to come back if they can set it up. But at some point, these 3rd downs become hard to convert.
2nd and 7 for Sean White. Snap a little bit high. Hands it off to Darian Johnson. 36 seconds to go as Jamal Adams makes the stop on the 2-yard gain. 3rd down coming up for the Auburn Tigers right around midfield. Down by 1, looking for just their 2nd win of the season. Against 2 losses already. Can't go 2 down in the SEC West and expect to contend.
Now they've had a tendency on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4 to use the quarterback draw, you know, out of that empty formation. But it looks like they're going to get to the end of the quarter and talk about this 3rd down play.
Hey, Cam Newton isn't coming through that door.
Neither is Nick Marshall.
3rd and 5 as we have 45 minutes in the books. 15 to play. It's a Tiger on Tiger thing, folks. Come on back. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, Quint Kesenick, ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Hampton by Hilton. 3rd and 5 coming up for Auburn. Right around midfield at the 47-yard line.
Remember, 49 Arden Key has been disruptive. You find him and you eliminate him if you want to have a successful 3rd down.
White to pass, surveying. Out in the flat, one-on-one here. Johnson picks up the first down on his feet. Thought about trying to leap the defender and changed his mind. But there was a critical missed tackle by Donnie Alexander on the play. Rob.
Yeah, but it started with the protection. They did a good job of keeping Arden Key out, and there's the end of it, of that run by Johnson.
Well, Johnson gave him a little hesitation step there. First down and 10. So they convert with a 23-yard pass, catch, and run. Johnson again. Some great determined running by Kerryon Johnson out of Madison, Alabama. Picks up about 4 on the play.
Yeah, he made 2 guys miss on that attempt. Ran right through Duke Riley.
Second and 6. Sean White still in the ball game. Last week, John Franklin came in the 4th quarter to take over. Johnson this time stopped up at about the 22 by Duke Riley. 3-yard gain on the play. 3rd down coming up once again for Auburn. Tony Stevens, their most reliable receiver on the season, comes into the ball game and will set up wide to the top of your screen. There he is, number 8. Johnson in motion. White keeps it. And he's going to come up short of the first down. Duke Riley with another tuck tackle. Just on the fringe of the red zone. What do you do now, Gus Malzahn?
Well, you kick the field goal. Look, we've been talking about it all night. You made your decision even before the game started. You know your team now. You know what you have. And he's relying on defense and special teams. And you have a chance to kick a field goal and go ahead.
That doesn't sound so sexy, though.
It isn't. It's not who, it's not what Auburn's been. But it's who they are now.
37 yards out. And Carlson still perfect on the season. And that ties a record for him. With his 5th field goal of the game. And welcome back, everyone. Auburn with the lead. Just 1 touchdown scored in this game. Auburn leading 15-13 here at Jordan-Hare. Always amazed me that it's spelled Jordan-Hare, but it's pronounced Jordan-Hare. This one's going to come out to the 25-yard line. First Saturday of fall, a lot of things going on in college football. LSU has not scored, folks, in the 4th quarter all season long. On the reverse, this is Chark, and he's got an alley. And Chark starting to spin, and a first down pushed out of bounds on the fringes of field goal range by Jonathan Ford, a huge chunk of 35 yards.
Well, great action. Watch more. 44, the fullback, get out in front of this. Also a great job by Booty, 76, the right guard, leading that thing. Perfect timing with the fast pursuing defense coming back around on him.
Into Auburn territory, 1st and 10. Fournette the lone back. 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends. Fournette hits it hard. Great move, straight arm, and Leonard Fournette telling those tacklers, you better talk to the hand because my feet aren't listening.
Well, I tell you, on that right side, he's getting a lot of help. I mean, Josh Booty, the right guard who had that cheat shot in the Wisconsin game, is doing a tremendous job the last couple of plays with his blocking, giving his guys some room. Fournette did a nice job getting in behind him.
Now with his 18th 100-yard rushing game of his career. Has 101 today. 2nd and 2. Fumble, booted around, still loose. A mad scramble, and Auburn recovers. Not sure whether that was supposed to be a toss or a handoff, Rod.
I think it was supposed to be a handoff to Fournette. It looked like the typical lead play, but I don't think it ever got to Fournette. No, he just dropped it. Edling just dropped it. That's a lead play, and the ball never got up to Fournette. It just dropped out of Edling's left hand. He didn't have the football. He brought it back with one hand, and he went to the left hand with it, and he just lost it.
A drive that started with so much promise implodes as Jeff Holland recovers the fumble. And another look of dejection for Leonard Fournette. Auburn with a 2-point lead, still plenty of time to go. Auburn trying to even their record at 2-2 on the season. First down and 10. Johnson between the tackles. I remember when, not that long ago, Arden Key said, my goal is going to be 20 sacks this season. And people kind of looked at him funny. And I tell you what, he's got 1.5 today, and he's on a really good pace, Rod.
He's at 6.5 sacks for the season. Got a long way to go. And I'll tell you, if teams don't target him and get 2 guys on him, he's going to get close to 20.
We got a new quarterback in the ball game. That's John Franklin III, the Florida State transfer via East Mississippi Community College, trying to give his team a spark. And he carries it for about 5 yards, and a long 4 yards. Greg Gilmore making the stop. Keep in mind, Franklin came in last week against Texas A&M, and now it looks like he's coming right back out of the game. Out of South Plantation, Florida high school, giving way to Sean White once again. Interesting call there, putting him in for just one play. 3rd and 4. White found his man's Ryan Davis for the first down. Gus Malzahn really trusts Daniel Carlson to go long on those field goals up to 60 yards, and that's why we placed it where we did.
Well, and he trusts his defense also. So expect him to go conservative here and to make sure he preserves the opportunity to try a field goal.
8-yard gain. 1st and 10. White dumps it off to Davis. That's Ryan Davis. Brought down to the 30, about 4 yards short of the first down by Kendall Beckwith. What a game Beckwith has had.
Yeah, double digits in tackles, and he's played sideline to sideline.
And you know, at one point, Rod, off the football field, he actually was raising 8 horses at once on his farm in Alabama, where he lives with his parents. He's a busy dude. 2nd and 4. Johnson behind White. Gets the carry. Missed tackle by Beckwith. And Johnson makes it down to the 20-yard line.
This is a huge drive for Auburn, eating up clock, securing a better field goal attempt now. If you're Gus Malzahn, you've struggled in the red zone. You've got a chance to take a shot in the end zone, particularly if your quarterback will be careful with the football. His guy or no one else, and come back and run the next play.
On 1st and 10, Johnson gets drilled. Beckwith making up for that last missed tackle, finding his target, and the bullseye right in Kerryon Johnson's chest. Hello, sternum.
Yeah, and another negative play. And now it's tougher to take the shot in the end zone because LSU defensively will be thinking about that.
That's his 11th tackle of the night.
Yeah, so if you're thinking along with Gus Malzahn right now, it's be a little bit conservative, keep that field goal in your back pocket. Here comes Franklin, or you go Wildcat. Probably going to run this thing and just keep it in the middle of the field.
Johnson going to take the snap here in the Wildcat formation. Truitt gets the handoff on the fly sweep. Boy, a very determined, unremitting and unrelenting run by Stanton Truitt. Picks up 7.
Good jet sweep. They had numbers and blockers, and that got them out in front. And now they have a more manageable 3rd down.
White back in. 3rd down and 2. Field goal here would salvage something for LSU defensively. A touchdown would really put it out of reach, seemingly, at this point of the game. Johnson still a yard short of the 1st down. And 4th down coming up.
Well, there's really not much of a question here. I mean, this is a field goal for you. This is what you've played for all night long. A 4th quarter lead, your defense playing well, and a field goal kicker you trust to give yourself a nice little cushion.
This would tie school record, the 6th field goal of the game. Carlson from 29 yards out. And Auburn leading by 5, but still plenty of time for LSU to come back. Daniel Carlson, the place kicker tonight, who is perfect on the season with a school record 6 field goals tonight. That ties the school record previously and co-held by Al Del Greco. Set it on October 9th, 1982. LSU has 2 timeouts remaining and just under 3 minutes to work with. Nothing but a touchdown will do. This place is officially lit. LSU has yet to score in the 4th quarter this season. Etling with plenty of time and dropped. Thrown a little bit behind DJ Chark. That did not appear to be a great pass, Rod.
No, not a great pass, but one that could be caught. Now, they've struggled all night. I mean, 77 yards passing for this LSU offense. Etling is 10 of 18 when you include that drop. This is a game-winning drive for you if you're LSU. This may be a season-saving drive for LSU.
Auburn's defense has been stout tonight. Etling takes off and makes a fantastic dash for the first down at the 37-yard line. A 12-yard gain.
They need plays like that because they're not generating it in the passing attack. But remember, they have fleet receivers, elite receivers outside.
How much of a factor is Leonard Fournette at this point of the game?
Well, he can be a factor. You can use him in screens and draws, and you can run him. There's plenty of time and timeouts. You don't have to abandon him completely.
Auburn with a blitz. Etling taking a shot up top. Little contact. And no flag, incomplete. Carlton Davis broke it up. It was intended for Durrell.
And that's a fantastic play by Davis. Watch him get his head around. He finds the ball. Don't worry about that left hand. Contact's all right. He finds the ball. It's a good play. But back to your point, Jonesy, you don't have to give up on Fournette here.
How do you use him? Draws?
Screen.
Draws?
Screen or draw. You can run him. They've got him in a slot formation right now. He's up there. You can find a way to use him.
Etling looks to the sideline, complete to Durrell. 16-yard gain. LSU on Auburn's side of midfield. A field goal does them no good. There's the pass you were alluding to, Rod, underneath to Fournette. But little gain on the play. Trey Matthews there to make the stop. 2nd down coming up.
But you have to give him a chance. You know, get him out in space and give him a chance to be one-on-one. He can't be one-on-one with his back to the defender with a ball that's thrown high.
Some pivotal miscues tonight by Les Miles and LSU.
Well, they've had opportunities. They just haven't converted on these. There's a missed field goal, which certainly would have helped them early on in this ball game. And then a wide open Chark going down the field. They missed that. And then how about Etling? They had a good drive going, and he just mishandled a handoff, killed that drive. Those miscues will come back to haunt LSU if they do not win this ball game. This drive right here is the entire season, essentially, for LSU.
Team picked by some to make it to the college football playoff. Etling trying to save the season in space. Incomplete. Fournette juggled it, and he got hit, and he's dragging that leg. That of even more grave consequence than the incompletion and potentially the result of this game. Their star player, their Heisman Trophy candidate, the hub, the key cog and wheel in their offense, on the ground, writhing in pain.
Well, and it's the ankle. It's the ankle that's been an issue for him through training camp. He missed a game this year, got back last week, seemed to play well, had a couple fumbles, lost one, and then this play here, he's clearly in a lot of pain.
That's big. That would mean that they'd probably bring in Darius Geis, his backup, who, although talented, doesn't give you quite the elements that Leonard Fournette does. Looking at 3rd and 8 here for LSU. You're just joining us and looking for Texas A&M Arkansas. That game being shown on the SEC alternate network.
Listen, given where we are in this ball game, this is 2-down territory for LSU. $1:38 to go with 1 timeout. They can't afford to give the ball back to Auburn.
Traven Durrell split wide to the bottom of your screen. Etling going to work out of the shotgun. Stetsup has a whole bunch of room in front of him. Inside the 30, out of bounds at the 27-yard line with 1:30 to go and 1 timeout remaining. An 18-yard scamper by Etling.
Smart, gutty play, recognizing the situation. Plenty of time for LSU. Question is, with Fournette out, who is the guy you trust the most to handle the football?
Will he end the game watching from the sidelines? Etling gets rid of it, has his man caught. And out of bounds is Traven Durrell. He came back to make the catch. Let's look at the spot. It's about a yard short of the first down. Clock running. And it looks like Fournette is going to re-enter the ball game. But at what capacity, I wonder right now?
Well, at the very least, as a decoy.
Auburn with a blitz into the end zone. Incomplete.
Oh.
And uncatchable signals the official there on the sidelines. Durrell working against Davis. And the ball well over the head of Traven Durrell. With 58 seconds to go, the clock stops.
A little battling going on down there, but a no call. But what about Malachi Dupree? They haven't looked his way much tonight. He's the guy we've talked about. He is an explosive guy, but they haven't looked his way.
10th play of the drive. A season-saving drive, perhaps, for LSU. Etling on the slant, complete for the first down. And there's Malachi Dupree with the catch. They move the chains with 54 seconds to go, 1st and 10.
And Dupree is thinking, how about that last play? You could have got me then. It would have been a touchdown.
47 seconds to go. 1 timeout remaining for LSU. Dupree in motion.
The matchup is still Dupree in the slot. That's the matchup that works for LSU if there's protection.
He's working against Ford, number 23. Etling goes the other way into the end zone and incomplete. Intended for Smith, the tight end. Stops the clock with 28 seconds to go. 2nd down and 10.
Again, Jonesy, the matchup that works is this one, and they're not seeing it. Malachi Dupree on the safeties. He's beating his man and getting open, but they're not looking his way.
At 6'4", he's a difficult target to miss. Les Miles knows that this is a critical game in terms of the SEC West.
So much riding on this for the Tigers. LSU thinking they want to stay in the race in the West.
Etling sacked at the 20 by Carl Lawson. Wow. That was huge. And LSU going to burn its final timeout.
And it's just Lawson on the right side. You see it. He beats 2 guys. Fournette with the bad ankle could not help in protection. That's when you start asking the question, if you know you're throwing it, why is Fournette in there? He can't help you in that situation. He can't move, and Lawson just went right around him. It's not.
They can change the verdict, perhaps, with 24 seconds to go. Or at least move it in the right direction. Dupree is split to the top of your screen. He's the widest receiver to the top of your screen. Fournette at the bottom of your screen. Etling, Dupree powering forward inside the 10. Clock running with 16 seconds to go and no timeouts remaining.
They'll get
4th
one more
down
shot.
coming up.
One more shot.
They might be going into the end zone here. They're going to have to.
They have no choice.
Etling caught. 1st down, 1 second to go. There's a flag on the far side of the field. With 1 second to go, LSU's going to have to get up to the line and get to work quickly here.
Illegal shift. on the offense.
This is going to be a clock run-off.
Oh, that's a 10-second runoff. And that's ball game.
Replay fourth down.
Oh, they're going to replay fourth down. Okay.
My signal.
They're going to replay fourth down then on the illegal shift. LSU's got to get up there quickly and be ready to snap. Edling's got to throw it into the end zone. Caught, but touchdown! You got to be kidding me! The Tigers roar! Real late! Ball game! DJ Chark with the catch in the back of the end zone.
DJ Chark may have just saved LSU's season and Les Miles' job.
Let's see if they, let's keep an eye on the clock. They were right up at the line of scrimmage, ready to snap. I thought he got the snap off in time.
Yeah, if the snap is off good, Edling buys time. What about the catch? Does he get a foot in bounds?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
that left foot is clearly in bounds. Now he left the ground, so he's got to have control
Previous
all the way
play
through.
is under further review.
He's got control all the way through. So the catch is good. The catch is good. He leaves his feet. Left foot is in bounds. He goes to the ground. He maintains control. The catch is good. The question becomes, what does replay see about the clock?
There's the left foot getting down.
But again, he's left his feet, so he goes to the ground. He has to maintain control. He does. So the catch is clean. So the question is the clock. What does replay say about the clock? Clock's at 0. Has the ball been snapped? He's under center. Can't tell.
Can they
Well, you can't
reverse
tell.
that? Can they change that, though?
Well, it's reviewable for the replay booth to look at those things, but you can't see the snap. You don't know when the ball comes up. You know when the quarterback steps back.
And now Auburn appears to be celebrating.
After review, the ruling is that the offense did not get the snap off prior to the clock.
We have had a cataclysmic reversal on the field for LSU. Auburn are the victors.
Have you ever seen such a swing of emotions?
The game literally decided 3 stories up in the booth. Let's go down to Quint.
Coach, how do you best describe the last 3 or 4 minutes looking up at the replay screen?
Well, you know, I knew they didn't get it off right there, and it's good. Our kids played their guts out. It's been a tough time the last couple of weeks. It says a lot about our players to beat a team like LSU. We're going to have momentum for the rest of the year from here on out.
Describe the night that Daniel Carlson had.
He's the best kicker in college football, and he showed it tonight.
What'd you learn about your squad tonight?
Well, what I knew all along, we got great leaders, we got great competitors, and we found a way to win a close game that'll help us the rest of the year.
It will. Congratulations,
Thank
Coach.
you.
An incredible finish for the Auburn Tigers. Wow. Coming up next, college football primetime takes you to Arkansas and Texas A&M from AT&T Stadium in Arlington. For Rod Gilmore, Quint Kesnick, I'm Mark Jones. Thanks for watching. Folks, this is a tough act to follow, but we're going to try. We're going to send it to Joe Tessitore and Todd Blackledge and Holly Rowe.